Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, welcome to the channel. So in the 1.7.5 patch, the Phalanx weapons got buffed to a point where they would ideally be able to compete with some of the better weapon unique effects in the game. And I say ideally with strong emphasis. So today I've got a Phalanx build for you, but just a warning, if you're here in about 3 weeks from now, this build is going to be different due to cell recategorization. But I did think we should take a serious look at the Phalanx weapons because they did just get quite a bit better. Consider dropping a like for me, and if you enjoyed Dauntless and are not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I post Dauntless content on here all the time. And stop by the Twitch today if you are still in need of a hunt pass, because there is going to be a hunt pass giveaway over on there today. So the concept of this build is that you want to be able to tank damage if you have to at the beginning of the fights, because if you hit the behemoth and then you dodge right after, you get pretty much no damage out of the unique effect. So if you don't like pressing the dodge button, this is fine, but what this means is that we can't really effectively run Predator on this build without having some way to dodge attacks. And this is going to be more of a lower level escalation and hunting grounds build as we're using Overpower. You can use this build on any weapon, but there's a change you want to make depending on what weapon you're using. And I know, I use Catalyst, but if you don't want to, all you have to do is swap the utility cell in the lantern to your choice utility cell and the one in the weapon to literally any cell you want. But let's look at the build. It's rocking the Torgadora weapon with Sturdy and Catalyst inside using the Phalanx weapon bond. We'll be using the Iceborne Omni cell as it'll give us the ability to tank several hits of damage to get the unique effect to work, as well as heal up the damage we've tanked. And you can run your choice of lantern. I'd say Koshai is a pretty decent pick here, and drop a Catalyst inside. For the armor, we have the Shroud helmet with Overpower inside, the Thrax chest piece with Pulse inside, the Timeweave gloves with Adrenaline inside, and the Chronivore boots with Adrenaline inside. If you're playing a weapon that isn't amazing when it comes to Adrenaline, like Hammer or Repeaters, then swap out the Adrenaline in the gloves and boots to Berserker. This will then give you a build of 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, 6 Pulse, 3 Etheric Evasion, 3 Sturdy, and either 6 Adrenaline or 6 Berserker. If you're running Chain Blades or Strikers, I'd recommend stacking in another 3 Berserker or 3 Adrenaline instead of going with 6 Pulse. As for the tonics, I would recommend the Assault, Blitz, and Frenzy tonics, as getting the extra stagger damage can just stagger the behemoth at the beginning of the fight for you if you need it. I would say this particular build works best on Axe, being able to stagger things immediately with that Grim Onslaught throw, as well as having the Determination meter, which makes going into Pulse plus 6 more worth it. But I would say the main issue with these builds is the Phalanx unique effect. It's really just different, because, you know, it wants you to dodge to activate it, but not exactly dodging through an attack, and you can activate it way too early to the point where it deals almost no damage at all. It may have a shorter cooldown now, but that fact will remain no matter what. The only weapon I'd say that could reasonably run Predator with it is Chain Blades, because Reaper's Dance doesn't count as a dodge for it, so you can actually dodge a lot without worrying about activating the unique effect too early. But in most fights, you'd still be getting more mileage out of the Hellion unique effect on Chain Blades, even when the Phalanx weapon does work properly. I'd say the one thing that would really keep me from recommending a Phalanx weapon would be, even if you've done everything correctly to get 4 missiles, they can still just miss. I don't know what kind of homing coding they're supposed to have, but they just seem to choose a direction to fire in and fire in a straight line. The weapons feel a bit more reasonable in group play because maybe you don't have to dodge quite as often because the behemoth has other targets. But even after the buff, I'd recommend keeping the Phalanx weapons on the shelf if you want to maximize your DPS. But if you can get past the DPS side of things, it is a different type of unique effect, and it can be pretty interesting to use, to say the least, and you have a rather nice reward when you use it correctly. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, consider dropping that like for me and subscribing if you are new. And I have been Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, and I will catch you guys next time.